This episode is brought to you by HASA. Liquid is clearly better. Liquid chlorine is the highest purity, works immediately, has no added cyanuric acid or calcium, and it will leave your pool safe, clean, and clear. And by the Bottom Feeder professional grade battery powered vacuum system. It sucks to clean pools, so cleaning pools sucks less. Get $100 off with code DVB100.
This episode is brought to you by Skimmer, the #1 pool service software in North America. With Skimmer, you can streamline your schedule, grow your revenue, and keep your customers coming back with 5-star service. Whether you're a one-person operation or an established team, Skimmer is your partner in success. Visit getskimmer.com/poolguy to try Skimmer for free for 30 days.
The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show.
Hey, welcome to the Pool Guy Podcast Show. In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about the PoolLab 2.0 or the PoolWaterLab 2.0. And the PoolWaterLab was formerly called the Pool Tester, and there was a very popular model that's still available. It's called the PoolLab 1.0, but of course they can't really call it that here in the US because of a trademark issue. But I'll go over this photometer, and if this is something that you're interested in getting for your personal use or for your pool route. Are you a pool service pro looking to take your business to the next level? Join the Pool Guy coaching program. Get expert advice, business tips, exclusive content, and get direct support from me. I'm a 35-year veteran in the industry. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, I've got the tools to help you succeed. Learn more at swimmingpoollearning.com. There are several really good photometers out there on the market today, and this is one of them, of course, along with the Lamont Color Q 2X Pro 9, and SenSafe makes several really good photometers as well. The iDip is a good one as well. So how a photometer works is basically a portable laboratory that uses light to measure the concentration of the chemicals in the water. And you'll see, I have a video on this, and you'll see, I took the lid off so you can see it, and basically the reagents, colors that you would normally hold up at eye level, if you have a Taylor test kit, and you look into it, you'll see the colors, and then you have to make a judgment of exactly what that color represents on the little color chart on the side. Well, the way the photometer works, it's like a little computer in there, and the light will hit the tube. It's completely dark, covered, the chamber's covered, and basically it'll show you a printout on the screen, LED screen, of exactly what the photometer read that reagent as. So they're really convenient because the photometer wavelength will actually give you the reading. So if the pH is 7.2, it'll actually be really specific, like 7.23 or 7.41, and the free chlorine level as well. And that's why I like these particular devices, because of how accurate they are, and it takes all of the guesswork out. I've gotten messages saying, hey, my Taylor test kit shows the pH is 7.6, but my photometer shows it as 7.4. Well, obviously, at 7.6, you're looking at it in the sunlight as it's hitting. Maybe it's cloudy out, maybe you're not holding it at the right level of your eye, and maybe you're not matching up the color specifically enough. And the photometer is giving you a digital reading of what it's pretty much saying the reagent is. Now, of course, there is possibility for user error based on not putting in the right amount of drops of the reagent or not crushing the tablet completely. That's all part of getting a measurement. There is some user error if you're not inside a lab. So the PoolLab 2.0, which is the European name for this product because it doesn't infringe on any trademarks in Europe. But in the United States, they had a little problem with the company that had a product called the PoolLab. Wouldn't let them use that name here. So first they just called it the Pool Water Tester. Kind of generic. It worked okay, but they recently changed it to the PoolWaterLab, and they were able to trademark that name, I believe, so they have that name here. In the US, pretty much the same product as the PoolLab 2.0. It's just branded differently here in the US. So each chamber of this device, and this the reason why I'm talking about this now specifically is because of the accuracy in removing user error. Each chamber holds 10 ml or milliliters of water from the pool that you test. And they realize they have like a syringe that has 10 ml on it. You can kind of use that to get an exact measurement. But they realize it's much easier to dip the device in the pool, get the reading, and then to get the 10 ml, it was difficult for people to kind of get that lined up. And you would get readings that were a little bit off for that reason. So they came out with a device, and I believe it's 3D printed at this point, but it's really cool. It's called the water leveler, and it's just this little thing that you put on top, push down, and there's holes in it, and any excess water over 10 ml will come out, and then you'll have a perfectly leveled chamber where you can get an accurate reading. Now, of course, you have to crush the tablet or put the liquid reagent, whichever one you're using, in there properly to get an accurate reading still. But this eliminates at least a huge portion of the user error by having too much water or too little water in the chamber, giving you a reading that's not accurate. So I find that with the water leveler device, I'm going to call it the PoolWaterLab, since most of the listeners here are US listeners. You can buy this device on Amazon. I don't sell any products at all. But if you go to Amazon, you can actually, there'll be a link in this podcast, and there's like a 10% off discount at one of the Amazon sellers. I'm not sure who they are. This came directly from the company that sells the product. They gave me this link, and they gave me this 10% off on it. So if you wanted to order and try it, Amazon's great because if you don't like something, you can easily return it. And I think you're going to like this device. So let me touch on some of the features now that I've talked about, one way that they've made it more accurate. Some of the features, of course, is that you can do 3 readings at one time. Now, this really speeds things up, and you can probably do 3 readings in my testing, I ran like 6 tests in a row to get accuracy on this thing between 2 different models. I have a PoolLab 2.0 and I have the PoolWaterLab, and I was doing multiple tests side by side, and I got pretty fast at this, and I can do 3 tests in about 1 minute and 40 seconds, which is pretty quick for photometer. So if you're doing the 3 basic, pH, alkalinity, and free chlorine, you can do that in about 1 minute and 40 seconds because you can actually do 3 tests at one time with this device, which makes it really unique in the photometer industry. Most of them, like the Color Q, you can do 1 test at a time. Same with the SenseSafe product. But this thing here, you can do actually 3 tests at one time. And they're always adding different test factors because they have it set so that they can actually update it for future parameters. And so they have quite a lot of them available now, and there's 27 parameters that you can test for. Some are not really necessary in the US market. I would say that you wouldn't need these parameters. And the Pool Guy Podcast Show has teamed up with UPA to bring you affordable, reliable liability insurance starting at just $64 a month. Get up to $2 million in coverage, and the members of my coaching group get an even lower rate. Protect your business and your peace of mind. Sign up with UPA today by clicking the link in the podcast description. But of course, they have several that you would want to use in the US market. Alkalinity, you have ammonia, you have bromine, calcium hardness, chloramines, chlorine, then you have high range chlorine, copper, cyanuric acid. I don't think you would really need hydrogen peroxide, but that's available. Iron, nitrates. You have pH. You have ozone as well. So you have an ozone system. You can actually measure the ozone with this device. Phosphates low, phosphates high range, and then you have total hardness. So there's some that you don't need, like zinc and urea, and those are probably not something you're going to order. But it does do a ton of different test factors, which kind of sets it apart as well. And you'll find that you're going to be using the basic testers, mainly in this one, along with iron and copper, maybe the phosphate test. It doesn't do salinity at the moment. I'm not sure why they haven't added that one yet, but I'm sure they will probably add that one in the future. Don't quote me on that, but maybe there's something that is needed to add that particular test. But none of the other ones also do salinity. That's more of a digital meter for the salt level, or you use a test strip for that. And I really like a few other features of this. Number one, you can actually connect this to via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi and send the readings to yourself or to a customer. So it's really nice to have the cloud support, the app support. It's really pretty easy to set it up as well. Now, as far as changing parameters, it just takes a little bit of effort to learn how to use this. Fortunately, their website has a ton of tutorial videos on there, so it should be really easy for you to go to their website and watch a series of videos on how to change it from, say, pH to phosphate, or you want to change alkalinity to cyanuric acid. It's not rocket science. It just takes a few steps, and it's pretty easy. One thing I like is that the 3 parameters that you're going to use the most, you can actually leave it set for those, and until you reset them, it'll turn on with those 3 parameters ready to go. So you don't have to go through the menu each time to reset those, which is a nice feature. And so if you're doing alkalinity, pH, and chlorine one week at all the pools, you can set it for that. And then the following week, if you're doing cyanuric acid, phosphates, and let's say iron, you can set it for that as well. It just makes it easier without you having to go through the menu and switching parameters all the time. That's a nice little touch right there. It also comes with a 24-month warranty, and that's something that you probably won't need to use because it's pretty accurate. You can also order some calibration solutions if you need to calibrate it, but I found that you don't have to really do that very often with this device. It does kind of eat through the batteries a little bit fast, so just be aware that the AA batteries that it takes, I wish it was rechargeable, and maybe they're going to make a rechargeable one soon with a lithium battery inside. That would make this device pretty much perfect at that point, but it does take 4 or 3, I think, AA batteries, I should say, and it does go through the batteries quite rapidly if you're using the device a lot, so keep that in mind, that you'll have to keep some batteries on hand. Now, if you do use rechargeable batteries, the battery indicator won't be accurate, so just be aware of that. The battery level indicator, it's only made for the standard batteries to read the level there. And that's probably the only drawback that I see, is the fact that you have to open up the back and change the batteries in this thing. If it was rechargeable, again, it would be perfect, but since it's not, that's one thing that I think is a negative with the PoolWaterLab 2.0 and the PoolLab 2.0. Now, there is a new case for it, which is nice. The case is actually made specifically for it. I think it's like $60 or so for the case, and you can get that also on their site. Maybe there's a link to Amazon as well. I really like the case because you could put everything in there, and it's something that's going to protect the device. Before that, I was using a kind of a lunch pail type device, lunch pail case that I was using for it. It held everything pretty well, but this specifically is definitely much better. And then I mentioned the pool water leveler again, and I think this is something to keep in mind, that when I did the multiple tests to test this thing out using the pool water leveler, all the test results, some of them were exactly the same, others were within range of each other, to where, maybe I didn't break up a tablet 100%, maybe 99% one, 100% on another. So you can see that in a lab, you could probably get perfect results in each time you're doing one of these repeated tests. But since I'm not in a lab, and I'm probably not as accurate as someone who's doing this scientifically, there was some variation, which makes a lot of sense. And it wasn't anything weird like the chlorine showing at 4 parts per million and the other one showing at 2 parts per million. They were all within range of each other. In fact, the pH lined up almost exactly with all my testing. So I would say the pH is probably the most exact region tablet I was testing in all my testing with this device. So who is this device for? Well, it's for the pool pro that's looking for something more accurate than, say, the Taylor reagent or a test strip. There's nothing wrong with using a Taylor test kit for your weekly readings or test strips, in my opinion, but you're going to need accurate readings, especially if you're doing the LSI calculation. You'll need accurate readings of everything. And so it's always good every 3 weeks or so to use a photometer to get an accurate reading, so you can, kind of keep track more accurately at each account of the water parameters. It's also great for testing iron and copper. It's also really good for testing phosphates. If you're doing commercial pools, I definitely recommend having a photometer of some type, because the health department is going to be using a photometer and you're going to have to match their readings. And so kind of to fight fire with fire, you're going to need a photometer yourself on your pool route so you can get these accurate readings, especially since you can send the readings to yourself and have a printout record of it to show the health department. Like, you're not writing these down. These are coming directly from the device. And this is something that you can show the health department that, hey, look, these are what I'm getting here. This is what my photometer shows. It's a really accurate photometer. And, this may stop an argument or a problem or a pool closure using this photometer. You don't really want to be using a tailored test kit at a commercial pool or test strips. You definitely want to use a photometer each time you do the test factors at a commercial pool, apartment complex, hotel, HOA community. If you're a homeowner looking for accurate testing, this is also great because the tablets actually have a really long shelf life. They also have powder packs. These have like a 3-year shelf life. So this is pretty good if you're not using it all the time and you don't want your reagents to go bad, especially if like in the Midwest or East Coast where your pool season is like 4 months and then every year you're replacing all your reagents because they're going bad. This would be perfect for that. It's priced about $320 here. And again, there's a link in this podcast where you can save 10% off of that. And a lot of the reviews are like, it's hard to use. It's really not that hard to use. If you look at the videos they have, and if you're used to any kind of electronic device, it's actually really easy to use. I'm not sure why so many people have so much trouble with it. To me, it's pretty basic how it operates. You just get the 10 ml of water, put the tablet in there and crush it up, and then go ahead and hit the test 1 button, and it does the readings for you, and it prints out on the screen what your readings are. And it's something that to me is necessary in a lot of cases. And if you're looking for a photometer, there are a few of them out there, of course, and this is one that you should, of course, have on your radar. And take a look at this one because I think it's something that is going to make your pool care easy and make getting accurate readings on your pool route very fast and easy. Looking for other podcasts that I have, you can find those by subscribing to my YouTube channel Monday through Friday. I post a new episode there. And if you're interested in more episodes, you can go to my website, swimmingpoollearning.com, and on the top, you'll see a podcast icon. Click on that, and there'll be over 1,700 podcasts for you to listen to at your leisure. And if you're interested in the coaching program that I offer, you can learn more at poolguycoaching.com. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless. This episode is brought to you by HASA, providing products that deliver clean, healthy water for every aspect of everyday life. The bottom feeder battery-powered vacuum system, portable, powerful, and only weighs 12 pounds. And Skimmer. Get Skimmer, America's #1 pool service software. Podcast listeners can try Skimmer for free at getskimmer.com/poolguy.